It's sourdough time. Look at Fred. Okay, so last night I fed Fred at about 11 p.m. And this morning he was up to here. He started here and he was up to here. So Fred is very active and he's been in the fridge for at least a week. So that is, I'm making a double batch this morning. That is 700 grams of room temperature filtered water. And I'm doing 120 grams of Fred. Okay, so I'm at 111 grams right now. And if you notice, Fred is floating. You see? That's what you want. So I'll just show you another 10 grams of Fred as he pours out. Come on, Fred. Don't be a little shit. Okay, here he is coming. And I only need 10 grams more. But look at all those gluten strings. That's what you want. He's gonna blob in. And if I get a little more in there, that's okay. I did. It's 144, but that's fine. All the extra starter gives you is an extra rise. So hopefully he doesn't explode out of the pan. So the timing is feed your starter at night. If you've already got a really active starter, feed him at 11 o'clock. And it was one of the sourdough mentors on here, I think Sourdough Company or something like that. She said, I'm going to use him anyways in the morning. He smelled really acetone when I took him out of the fridge, but he smells really sour this morning, which I like the sour. So if you're not keen on real sourdough bread, don't leave them in the fridge as long as I do without using them, I guess. But I bake in 2 loaves at a time now because now remove them from your scale to mix. But I'm baking 2 loaves at a time now because somebody once, on the old TikTok, said that if you do a double batch, you seem to get a better rise out of it. But ever since I started doing a double batch, and they freeze really well too, so I freeze 1 loaf and have 1 loaf here. And if you have little bits of sourdough starter floating around after you make it to the milky stage, it's okay. That's what you do. This one's from Bread Smart, this whisk, and I like it because you can reach all the bits. See, I can get in between there and get all the dough out. So Bread Smart, you can get a little package, and I do like using the Dutch whisk. So those that say you don't need one, you can use a fork, that's fine. This really works. Anyways, once you freeze it and you bring it out, if you turn your oven to about 300 Fahrenheit and throw your loaf once it's thawed into the oven for about 10 minutes, it actually crisps up just like you took it out of the oven fresh. So that's what I've been doing. And it's like having a fresh loaf of bread out of the oven, but it's came out of your freezer. So stick with me for tips. Okay, so once that's mixed up, remember I have 700 grams of room temperature filtered water. And I just keep one of these. I also got this on Amazon on the counter. And it's room temperature. I don't use warm because my house is warm right now. It's 30 degrees plus in the shoe swap. So I don't need warm water. Now, always use a scale. This is the Starfrit. I like it. And the smaller ones just don't work for the big bowls. So now I put, as I said, 140 grams of Fred, my starter, in, but normally I put in for a double batch 120 grams of starter. For you newbies, that's probably good to work with until you get used to handling the dough. So now I'm going to add bread flour. In Canada, I use Robin Hood if I have it available, but I've been buying unbleached bread flour and it seems to work really well. So this is bread flour and it's Robin Hood unbleached. Okay, now we're going to add, zero out your scale, and I'm going to add 1,000 grams of bread flour. And remember, this is a double batch. You don't need to watch me do this. Okay, so to my 1,000 grams of bread flour, I am adding 20 grams of pink Himalayan salt, sea salt. And I add it right on top of the flour. Okay, so that's what's in my bowl. I make a little well and I add it right to my flour before I mix it. Some mentors say to mix it and let it sit for about 10-20 minutes and then add a little bit of water and your 20 grams of salt and dimple it into the dough. I don't see that makes any difference whatsoever. So I do it this way because I know it's being mixed thoroughly in. So it's up to you how you do it. Now I'm going to just use my whisk and mix it till there's no dry bits left. Some people use their stand mixer. I'm making artisan bread. So I do everything by hand, okay? And I got this bowl, which I've seen lots of mentors pay a lot of money or they get sponsored, but I don't get sponsored probably because of my language. But they use a hand mixer and whatnot, but I like to do it this way. I can feel the dough and I really feel like, oh, you should smell it already. And I just am getting a feel for my bread doing it this way. So I'm going to mix it until there's no dry bits, and I've got a little bit extra starter in here, so mine's going to be a little bit more hydrated. Oh gosh, it already smells like bread. It's just, and then you get it to a shaggy mass like this, and that's when I'm going to cover it and let it sit for an hour before I do my first stretch and fold. I do one round of stretch and folds, and then I switch to coil folds. And remember, once you have all your ingredients into the bowl, the bulk fermentation is already going. Okay, so I'm going to stop this for a second until it's done, and then I'll show you my first stretch and fold. I'm just going to mix it a little bit more, but not much, and that's how it's going to look before I do my stretch and fold after 1 hour of sitting. Okay, first stretch and fold. Wash your hands, wash your hands. Here we go. Grab from underneath and pull up. Whee! And down. Underneath, up, down. Turn your bowl. Underneath, up, down. Up. Keep doing it till it doesn't want to pull anymore without tearing. Switch down the bowl. It looks different already. Cover for another 30 minutes, and then we'll do coil folds. Okay, now we're going to do coil folds. That's how it goes looking. That's nice. 30 more minutes. See how it's changed? I'll show you part 2 after this. Got more coil folds too. Now I'm sitting in my garden, and I'll do a part 2 after
after it's bulk fermented. Peace out.